Hey, out there, legal warriors, how long will it take to get your no contact order dropped if you have a no contact order from a domestic violence case? I get that question all the time. It's a super important question. I understand why people want the orders to go away quickly. If you want the answer to that question, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Lynnwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington State for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. Now, as always, I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm talking about a criminal no contact order. I'm not talking about a civil protection order. Talking about an order that gets issued when someone gets arrested for or charged with the crime of domestic violence. So if you've been arrested or charged with a crime of domestic violence, most likely you have a no contact order that is not going to allow you to go home, may not allow you to see your kids, and certainly doesn't allow you to see the alleged victim. And the funny thing is about no contact orders, a good percentage of the time, the alleged victim in the case does not want the no contact order. The court issued one, even though the alleged victim at this point is wanting to have contact with the person that is charged with the crime. And most people get frustrated. Well, why is the court doing this? If the alleged victim wants to see me, why is the court doing this? Well, it's because it's the government's case. It's not the alleged victim's case. It's the state versus the defendant. It's the city versus the defendant. And the court, who wants to protect the alleged victim, will issue an order at the request of the government, the prosecutor, to say, hey, defendant, you can't have contact. Now, what happens is the alleged victim at some point will usually file a motion to try to remove or modify the no contact order. And we have tons and tons of clients, and the question you always get is, how long is that going to take? And, how does that get done? What happens? And so it's usually very frustrating how long it's going to take. It varies court to court. That's why you need a local attorney who knows, well, at least an attorney who works in the local area. They may not be local because, like our firm, we drive all over the place for court, but an attorney who knows that court, to know what the culture of that court is, to know what the culture of that judge is, to know what the culture of the prosecutor's office is for what it is they expect. So my answer might be in one court, hey, they're going to drop your order in 30 days because we'll probably get it resolved in 30 days. And usually the prosecutor in court drops the order when we resolve it. An answer for another court might be this might go on for 6, 8, 10 months because this judge doesn't like to drop orders pre-trial. It takes longer to get the case resolved. And so the answer to the question, unfortunately, is it depends, but at least we know it depends on certain factors. And so I think there's at least 3 factors that it depends on how long it's going to take for the order to be dropped. One is going to be, what has the defendant done between the time the the victim requests the order be dropped and the time the court hears that motion to drop the order. If the defendant has done nothing to change his or her position, they've done no educational classes, they've not done any DVMRT, they haven't done a DV victims panel, well, then the court is not going to feel that comfortable dropping the order because they're going to say, what's different today when you're asking me to drop the order, victim, than when I issued this order when the defendant was originally charged with the crime? And if the defense attorney goes, well, just some time has passed, that's going to be less effective than if they've done something. So factor 1 is the actions of the defendant. Factor 2 will be how the victim sounds, right? What is the basis of his or her request to drop the order? And I've got some other videos that hopefully we'll be, mentioning up here about, ways to get an order dropped. But the shorthand version is if the alleged victim sort of is dependent on the defendant financially, or it's just like, oh, I love the defendant so much, or hey, I need him home because I can't support himself, things like that, then the court is going to be less likely to drop the order because, it sounds like the alleged victim needs protection and that they're only making this request because they're so dependent on the defendant, either emotionally or financially. A better way that someone could sound would be like, hey, I know how to take care of myself. I'm not afraid of the defendant. I have my own income. But, I would like to have agency over my own life, court. I'd like to be able to decide on my own who I get to see and not see. So, although I appreciate you wanting me to be protected, I don't feel I need to be protected. So I respectfully ask that you drop this order and let me make my own decisions in my own adult life. Now, you might not want to put it with that much snark, but, that's the idea, something that's going to be more effective. So, again, that second thing is how the alleged victim sounds. The words that he or she uses can affect how it happens. Now, the third thing that affects how long it's going to take, unfortunately, is going to be how long has it been? Okay, so time is the third thing. So if we request to drop an order, if the victim requests to drop an order 2 or 3 weeks into the case, there's almost no chance the order is going to get dropped unless it's a very special fact pattern or a very special judge with some inside knowledge from the defense about what the culture is of that judge or that court. But so the court is really trying to protect itself along with protecting the alleged victim, because there's not a ticker tape parade when a court drops an order. There's not positive press articles that the court dropped the order and let this family go back together. But yet there is really negative press articles if the court drops an order and all of a sudden the victim ends up dead, right? So we have to think about it from the court. You're putting the court in a hard position because they take a risk if they drop an order over the objection of the prosecutor, right? The prosecutor's agreeing to drop the order. Well, then the court's got some cover, right? They're the ones who requested it to begin with. So if more time has went on, if more time has passed, it's a couple of months into the case, 3 months into the case, the defendant has done some stuff, the alleged victim sounds right, well, now there's more of a logical reason why things have cooled off, time has passed, the situation's changed. Now maybe I'm more likely as the court to drop the order. And there is, in my opinion, a cumulative effect, right? The more no's a victim gets when they come in and ask to drop the order, the more likely they're going to get a yes later. That's just sort of human nature. So you can't really hurt the case too bad by asking really soon, unless you really upset the judge and go to show that you're under power and control of the defendant, because then they sort of make up their mind and now it's going to get harder. But if you do things carefully, hopefully it won't hurt by getting a no earlier. So how long does it take? It depends, but hopefully I've went over the factors. Most of the time we're going to see a no contact order in a city case. In my opinion, 2-3 months is a good idea for the average case. State cases are usually going to be longer. Felonies a long, long time. But it's not hopeless. Orders do get dropped, but listen to your attorney, whoever that is, to find out what it is that you can do to improve the chances of having that order being terminated sooner than later. So I hope you found this useful. If so, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. And more importantly, if you have a criminal matter in Washington State, feel free to reach out to my firm. We've been doing this for more than 20 years. If we get on board, listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.